Dear students, welcome to the video lecture session on power generation and economics. Today, I am going to discuss under Module 2 efficiency of steam plants. Efficiency of steam power station. Okay. The overall efficiency of steam power station is quite low, about 29%. Okay, due to its main two reasons. One is the huge amount of heat lost in the condenser, so which we cannot avoid it, and secondly, heat losses occurs with various stages of plants. Hence, due to this, what it will be happens, the efficiency of a steam power station will be nearly, it will be 29%. Okay, here the efficiency of is explained, thermal efficiency. Okay, one is thermal efficiency and the one is overall efficiency. Okay, these two I am going to discuss here. Let us first one is the thermal efficiency. Okay, thermal efficiency is nothing but what? It is the heat equivalent of mechanical energy transmitted to the turbine shaft or heat of coal combustion. It means what? The ratio of heat equivalent mechanical energy transmitted to turbine shaft to the heat of combustion of coal is known as thermal efficiency. Okay, so total heat of coal combustion, how much it is there, that, and how much heat equivalent of mechanical energy is transmitted to the turbine shaft. Okay, it gives a thermal efficiency. Okay, the thermal efficiency of modern steam power station is about 30%. It means that if 100 calories of heat is supplied by coal combustion, the mechanical energy equivalent of 30 calories will be available at the turbine shaft and rest is lost. Okay, remaining is, it will be lost. Okay, it may be important to note that more than 50% of total heat of combustion is lost in the condenser. Okay, the other heat losses occurs in flue gases, then radiation, ash, etc. Overall efficiency, the ratio of heat equivalent of electrical output to the heat of combustion of coal is known as overall efficiency. So here it will be, question it will be given, overall efficiency will be is equal to heat equivalent of electrical output divided by heat of combustion of coal. The overall efficiency of a steam power station is about 29%. It may be seen that overall efficiency is less than the thermal efficiency. This is expected since some losses about 1% occur in the alternator. Okay, the overall efficiency can be found here with help of this equation, thermal efficiency into electricity efficiency. Next one is fuels and fuel handling. Fuels and fuel handling. Fuels may be classified as solid, liquid, and gaseous. I repeat here, the fuels are classified as solid, liquid, and gaseous, and as a natural or prepared. Fuel normally used in a thermal station is coal, oil, or gas. Okay. Gaseous fuels is rarely economical, except in special circumstances where it may be available very cheaply on site. It means nearby it will be available, means the gaseous fuel can be used because the transportation cost will becomes more. Oil also is a used only where it is plentiful and cheap, means the large quantity and it will be available, then we can use. Coal is the fuel used most commonly in a thermal station. Let us, I will elaborate here the classification of fuels, solid, liquid, and gaseous. Oil. liquid fuels. Oil can be used in a boiler furnace to generate steam used as a fuel. Used as a fuel offers a number of advantages. Okay. However, the great disadvantages of liquid fuel is that heat produced is costly as compared with coal or gas. I repeat here, liquid fuels, the disadvantages of liquid fuels is that the heat produced is costly as compared with coal or gas. Okay. So, moreover, in a country like India, where natural resources of oil are in short supply, application of oils for power production is limited. Further, as the fuel oil contains more percentage of hydrogen as compared to coal, the moisture carried by the gas per kg of fuel burned is considerably more. This results in lower overall combustion efficiency of the plant as compared to the coal burning. Okay, this is the disadvantages of liquid fuel. Next one is the gaseous fuel. These fuels can be broadly divided into natural or manufactured. Natural gas comes out of gas wells. We'll take pen. Okay, okay. Gas wells and petroleum wells. Okay, from there it will be extracted. It contains 60 to 95 percentage of methane with a small amount of other hydrocarbons. It is piped in large volumes to distance of hundreds of kilometers in steel pipes, okay, having large diameter and at pressures of about 60 kg per centimeter square. The cost of such transmission is often high. The gaseous fuels, which it will be found in where the gas wells and petroleum wells, and it will be transmitted, okay, over a steel pipes with a pressure of 60 kg per centimeter square, so that the cost of such transmission is often high. Gaseous fuels possess all the advantages of oil fuels. Okay, I repeat here, gaseous fuels has the advantages like oil fuels, but but easy of storage. Oil can be stored easily, but it is gaseous fuels are difficult to store. So this is the one disadvantage we can say. Okay, the major limitation of using natural gas as a fuel is that the power plant must be located near the natural gas. Okay, what if it is located nearby natural gas? So what it will be happens here, the cost of transportations will be reduced. Okay, otherwise what it will be happens, the cost of transportation will be high. The last point is cost of transportation of fuel is an important considerations in selecting the fuel for thermal power station. Okay. Next one is fuel handling. Okay. In fuel handling, first block is, I will explain all these blocks one by one. Fuel delivery truck, boat or rail, it is mentioned here. In short, it will be mentioned the how the coal it will be transported through the truck, boat or rail. Okay, and the next one is, let us once I will read out which are the blocks here. Blocks are present. Okay, fuel delivery truck, boat, rail. Second one is unloading, preparation. Third block. Fourth one is transfer, outdoor storage, covered storage, in plant handling, weighing measure, furnace firing. Okay, these are the blocks. Let us begin with first one. Okay. Okay. Just a moment, I will take pen here. So first block is fuel delivery, truck, boat and rail. So here what it is, the coal may be delivered by sea, river, rail or road. Okay. Selection of proper method of coal supply from the coal mines to the power stations depends upon system capacity in tons per hour or location of the plant with respect to rail or water facility available. Okay, depending upon the availability, which it is road or we can say the sea, river, through this the transportation will be done and finally it will be delivered to the storage. Okay, next one is unloading. Unloading is depends upon the how the choice of equipment will be depends on the how coal is received. Okay, uh, how it will be means through the truck or rail or how it will be. With respect to that, unloading will be done. Next one is preparation. Preparation of coal is before feeding to the combustion chamber becomes necessary only if unsized coal is brought to the site. It means what? The size unsized coal is brought to the site, so that and sizing is desirable for purpose of storage or firing. Okay, a coal is preparation is plant may include the following such as crushers. Okay, then second we can sizers, dryers. Okay, and magnetic separators. So these will be done in the preparation. So earlier I have explained about the related to the crushing, means we are making the small pieces so that the surface which it will be exposed and less air can it take and it will be burn. Combustion can be take place. Okay, next one is transfer. It transfer means it carrying coal from unloading point to the storage site from where it is discharged to the firing equipment. Okay, I repeat here what it is. It means carrying coal from unloading point to the storage site from where it is discharged to the firing equipment, means from there it will be going to the firing. It may require one or more than one equipment depending on local conditions. It depends upon the conditions the equipments are used. Okay, either means equipments in sense it will be transported through the belt conveyor systems, screw conveyor, bucket elevators. Okay, or uh, some means of transportations I am discussing here. The transfer means it will be coal, it will be transported through the belt conveyor system. Means belt conveyor system means there will be a belt, above that the coal it will be placed, and through this belt it will be moved to the point where it will be stored. Okay, stored, or we can say that firing equipment we can transfer to firing section also. Okay, next one is outdoor storage. Outdoor storage is also called dead storage. Okay, storage of coal is essential for two reasons. First is that it is an insurance against complete shutdown of a power plant, which may arise from failure of normal coal delivery. If the uh, shutdown means it is not available, then the generation will stop, so that it is necessary to store. Okay, now the failure of transportation systems. Okay, generally shortage of coal etc are taken care by a proper storage system, so we have need to store. Second reason is for cold storage is that advantage can be taken of seasonal market condition. This means that when prices are low, coal can be purchased or stored for future use. It means what? When it will be cost it will be less, then uh, we can store. Okay, this means that when the price are low, coal can be purchased or stored for future use. Next one is the covered storage. We can go for the storage in covered. Okay, or indoor we can say storage constitute the coal requirements of the plant for a day. Like that also we can store. Okay, this is the information related to the storage. Now in plant handling. In plant handling, it refers handling of coal between the final storage to the firing equipment. I repeat here, in plant handling is nothing but what? In, it refers to handling of coal between the final storage to the firing equipment. In case of simple, okay, so it means what? It will be transported to the firing sections. Next one is what? The coal weighing, the weight, weighing the measure. As stated uh, earlier, the cost of fuel is the major running cost of the plant. As earlier I had discussed, because the running charge of a thermal power plant, it depends upon the cost, fuel cost. Okay, it is thereby very necessary to weigh coal at unloading point and also that used as a feed to individual boiler. Okay, a correct measurement of coal enables one to have an idea of total quantity of coal delivered at the site and also whether or not proper quantity has been burned as per load on the plant. Okay, depending upon how much it will be received and how much it will be consumed, that we can come to know. The weighting it will be done, means weighing will be done, wave bridge, belt scale, or automatic recording systems that can be used. And finally it will be goes to the furnace firing. Okay, combustion and combustion equipment. Next bit is combustion and combustion equipment. Fuel is burned in a confined space called furnace. Any efficient combustion of fuel is essentially for economical working of power plant. Okay. Okay. So here it will be given explanation about the unpulverized coal combustion furnace. Two general methods, namely hand firing and stoker firing, are available. Okay. A stoker is a fuel firing device which receives the fuel by gravity, carries it into the furnace for combustion, and after combustion discharges the ash at the appropriate point. Okay, in case of pulverized coal, to deliver systems, namely unit system and central or storage systems, are available. Okay. Here it is hand firing systems and stoker firing. It will be given. No capital investment. This type of first one is hand firing, simple, require no capital investment. This method can however be used only a small installation because informity of combustion is difficult. So this is the one very important point in hand firing. What it is there, the informity of combustion is difficult to control in this type of firing. Further adjustment for the supply of air are to be made every time coal is fed to the furnace. Okay, so where in this stoker firing method, coal is carried into the furnace for combustion and ash formed after combustion is discharged at appropriate point. Stoker are designed for meeting specific requirement of fuels. It possible to burn caking, non-caking or non-clinkering fuels. While some stokers can work with natural draft, other need mechanical drafts. Okay, so this is the difference between hand firing and stoker firing. Okay, further it is classified as a stoker, overfeeding and underfeeding. This I will explain. This is very important. Overfeed and underfeed. What is difference between these? Are two main classes stokers. There are overfeed and underfeed. Okay, the main difference is this two. The two differ in manner of feeding of coal above or below. Okay, so the coal how we are feeding, that is different. If you are feeding coal above or below, the level at which primary air is admitted in the furnace. Okay, so here I will show you the figure so that it will be very clear. Just a moment. Okay, if you are looking to this overfeeder stoker, overfeed and underfeed stokers will be clear from the reference. These are two figures are there, 2.8 and 2.9. Okay, in the case of any overfeed stoker, coal is fed. Try to note this point, it is a very important. What it is, the overfeed stoker coal is fed onto the grate above the point of admission of air. Okay, so here the air is admitted. Okay, admitted above the point of admission of air. In the case of underfeed, stoker fuel is fed from under. Here I will show you one more. Okay, here you can see here it will be fed here. One more image is there, I think. No, I didn't put. Anyhow, this is the different how we are feeding the coal and air. Okay, whether it will be overfeeded or underfeeded. Okay, next bit is dust collection, draft system, feed water. Okay, this bit I will cover in next video lecture. Okay, thank you.